So earlier on in the week I was trying to do some fence panels, and removing the fence posts was an absolute nightmare. It took me hours. The posts were rotting off in the ground, the concrete was difficult to get up, and then I've got to dig the hole. So I went on the internet and found a fantastic video that suggested using a farm jack for removing the posts. A little bit sceptical at first, but after having removed two over here, the job's absolutely a good one. So I'm going to show you briefly how I've done it, and hopefully this helps. First of all, I've cut a piece of timber, which is 100 by 100, so a nice solid block of timber without too many flaws in it. I went down to Wickes's and bought a couple of threaded bars. These are 12mm by 500mm, and I just cut one bar in half, and on each end you put a 12mm nut and a washer. You then drill two 12mm holes through the post, and this is the first part of your tool to remove the posts. Okay, so the next items that you need to help you here is a little tiny platform, and I've just got a couple of breeze blocks here and a piece of leftover sleeper that I was using earlier on to build some retaining walls. But any solid timber or platform that you can make, you drop that next to the post that you want to remove. Then you take your block of wood with your 12mm holes pre-drilled in it with a 12mm bore, and some point on here we make the alignment, spot mark through, and this is the position for our first hole in the post, so we'll just drill through that. So that's our first hole, and we'll stick our threaded rod through there and bolt the block to it. Okay, so I've drilled my first hole through the post. I've got my block of wood with the 12mm bar through it. This is quite a bit of this is a snug fit. I prefer it to be fairly tight, as we're going to put quite a bit of pressure on this. So you just tap that through, and that's our first bolt in place. Then we mark through for our second hole, put that one up out of the way, and we drill through our second hole. So with our second hole drilled, we again tap the bar through, and just a case of a nut and a washer on the other side to clamp this on nice and tight. So we've now bolted the block of wood to our post, sort of 45 centimetres up from the ground, something along those, about 1.5 foot, and I've just nipped these up. Don't have to be really tight, but I think it's useful to have them because we're going to put a lot of pressure on here. Underneath you'll see the platform, and this is where we plan to lift the post up, and the platform is to prevent the jack, which we haven't seen yet, from pulling up and fighting against the bait. This is a farm jack, and this particular one is a high lift from the States, but you can buy slightly cheaper versions, around about £40–45, something along those lines online. And what we're going to do is we're going to position the jack underneath this block of wood, and then jack against the platform with the hope of lifting this out with the concrete intact. Now, I was a little bit sceptical when I first tried this, but you will see that this is a fantastic technique of pulling out the post, and also leaving a hole ready to go for the next post. So it kills two birds with one stone. So the jack's now in position here underneath the post, and the jack will have a tendency to pull towards the post. So this particular model of jack has a clamp on here, and what we do is position that so that it doesn't pull too far into the post. So I've got the jack positioned underneath the post and the block, and on here we just have to set that to lift. Now this jack is capable of lifting something like 4.5 tonne, so it's got plenty of pull on it. You can see I've lined the jack here at the top, and just be very careful. This will now start to pull. There's a lot of vegetation underneath this particular post, so I think this might be a bit harder than the others, but as you can see, she's already starting to pull out of the ground. And when it starts to come, you know that you've got it. Okay, so that's probably up far enough now. Just release the pressure off the jack. And so here's your post, now ready with the concrete on board. And out she comes with the concrete and the soil, leaving the hole ready to fill back in with concrete and post again. Hopefully that really helps. I know this method has saved me hours, but for the sake of 50 quid for the jack and then a few other little bits and pieces laying around, money well spent, and I'm sure that jack will come in useful for other projects. So yeah, great method, and thanks to everybody on YouTube that had given me the inspiration to do it this way.